Hello, everybody. Hello, am I audible? Hello. This is the debut session of a series of live streams that will be done from the Telangana Photographic Society account. So, welcome to Conversing with the Masters. This will be a series of live streams where we talk to masters in photography about their lives and their profession. So tonight we will start with our own very beloved Arvind sir, our president. So yeah, let's wait for him. He'll be joining in a bit. So we'll have a conversation with him and we'll get to know him better. So all the comments will be disabled during the interview and they will be enabled after the interview is completed. Hello sir, good evening.
Hi, Saurabh. How are you?
Hi sir. Sorry?
Saurabh?
Hi sir, am I audible?
Yeah, partly. Sometimes it gets cut. Is it
Okay,
audible for you?
probably the network issue, I think.
Okay. Network issue from my side or your side?
Probably my side. I will connect earplugs if that is fine.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Is this?
Yeah, you're fine. Good.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Hi,
Welcome to Conversing with the Masters.
thank you. Who's the master?
You, sir, obviously.
Thank you.
So we're happy to have our president as our first guest.
Thanks.
So, would you like to tell us something about TPS,
Yeah,
our society?
sure. Actually, it's a matter of pride and privilege for me that I'm the president for TPS for this term. TPS started as Andhra Pradesh Photographic Society in 1957 or 58. It was started by some of the erstwhile Rajas, Maharajas of these regions, the feudal lords, some of the very nice people were there who
Okay.
started this, some local people also. And being by virtue of who they were, it used to be a very nice, open, friendly society, and people, and it mattered that they decided that they'll go around the place and teach people photography. And so they started doing a variety of things, and the principal person who started this was Raja Triambak Raj Bahadur. And the other people who were there were KT Uncle, Ketan Maleshwar, Gansham Giri,
Uh-huh.
Gulab Chand, those people were there. And so it's been a great journey from that time. So TPS is actually the oldest society you'll find in both the states, I think. And at the moment, it's doing great guns, yeah.
Okay, that's great to hear, sir. I'm proud to be a part of such a society.
Thank you. Nice. I'm glad that you're there.
So, yeah, sir. So when did you start your journey, sir? When did you start your journey with photography?
It's a very funny story, actually. You know, my father was an electrical engineer. My mother is a gynecologist, and So coming from that kind of a background, and in Hyderabad, photography was never a looked up to profession. But Dad was in France for a couple of years. He was on deputation somewhere over there with the LXT. He was the LXT board here. And when he came back, he got himself a camera, which was a Yashica Minister D. I remember that very well. And that camera,
Okay.
like in all homes where we have one steel Almara, we used to have one too. And he used to lock it up over there religiously and go to work. And I was very young when he went, but by the time I reached my 10th or 11th class, I was very curious when I found that camera. So I used to somehow flick the camera, hide it somewhere, and when they'd gone away to work, I would fiddle around and try to learn the camera. So that's how I learned. So that's when I started.
Okay.
But the passion with photography started with APPS. It was in the dark room of KT Uncle that was in Begumpet. When I saw the first picture appearing in the tray, when you're making a print of the dark room and you see the picture coming up on a blank sheet of paper, that got me hooked into it. Yeah.
That's great, sir. So what attracted you to get into photography? Like what factor in photography or which aspect of photography attracted you?
Actually, it's a very strange thing. My only objective was that I wanted to join the army, and I got rejected.
Oh,
And I cleared the NDA and I passed the SSB, but then I failed in the medical for substandard vision, and very
okay.
paradoxically, it's my vision which has made me a photographer right now. So that's a very funny thing. Yeah. So apart from that, I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was basically a very happy-go-lucky kind of a guy, and I was into a lot of sports and all kinds of thing, but I never really. I worked as a salesman for a couple of years, and I worked as
Mhm.
a variety of jobs. But I used to make my money out of photography when I was in college. So I kind of improved over a period of time. I used to go and shoot functions and events and whatever happened, and I used to make a good bit of money because I bought a motorbike also along with that money. So that's what happened. That kind of got me hooked. Yeah.
It's very interesting, sir. Even now you're a pretty amazing person, and like we can freely come and talk to you. We can ask you questions. So that's great.
I'm glad
And
I got some aura around me which get people make people very wary of me and very scared, I believe. But I'm glad it's to not
no,
that.
sir, you're one of the like coolest persons I've ever met in my life. You're chilled
Thank
out. And
you. Thank you.
so, how did you start learning photography, sir? In the beginning, like when you just started, how did you learn the basics or the concepts, etc.?
Yeah. So when I picked up this camera, I used to fiddle around with it, and I figured out what was focus, and I did not have a clue about what was aperture, shutter speed, or film speed, or whatever it is. Then somebody told me
Okay.
this. Then finally, APPS was running classes. It was a um, uh, 12 weekend course, and I missed the
Mhm.
first two classes, but I joined up, and because my cousin was there, and she told me that this is happening, would you be interested? So I joined the course, and I learned the fundamentals of the camera from Mr. O.C. Edwards. He's one of the finest wildlife guys, someone very fine gentleman too.
Okay.
The learning actually happened by myself because most of my learning came from looking at other people's pictures, and I used to ask myself three questions, which I've repeated so often to people, but I'm still going to repeat it over here because when I saw a really good picture, I used to ask
Mhm.
myself three questions as to how did the photographer take it?
Yeah.
Why did he or she take it that way? If I had been in that place, how would I have shot that picture? I think that was my education. So
Okay.
every picture kind of got into my head, and I have this incredible memory for pictures. I can look at 10,000 images and remember the 30th one after that. Yeah.
So I feel like everybody here should ask those three questions about photography.
I'll be glad to answer them. Yeah.
So, uh, what is your ikigai in photography? What is the purpose for you to click pictures?
You know what I tell people? I don't know whether it's the truth or not, but as I keep getting older, I keep changing my thoughts, and but the fundamental thing is that I feel that that let's say when I'm dead and gone, if my great grandchildren go around and say, okay, listen, my great grandfather did that picture. When they see that picture over there, it's my great grandfather's picture. I think that's a life which I've lived. Which is I've
Yeah,
lived
I
a
agree.
wonderful world. So that's all that I need. I think I'm going to try for that. And
So
yeah,
basically, leaving a legacy.
yes, a legacy of sorts. There's so much
Mhm.
to do in photography, and so much more that can be done still. I'm not looking at leaving behind a masterpiece of a legacy, but I'm leaving behind whatever little I can, because as a photographer, what I know, what I understand, as a person, more than being a photographer, photography is only a tool for me as a person who evolves as he grows older, as he grows wiser, or the other way around, whatever it might be. Uh, his thought processes influence his picture taking. So the pictures that he takes are the person that he is. So over a period of time, I hope I do some pictures which will leave a kind of set a benchmark, and then we could probably look at something later. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure you clicked a lot of pictures in your whole career, and even before, like in the beginning, maybe thousands, tens of thousands.
Some of them.
No, I'm pretty sure that you clicked a lot of pictures in your career, right?
Yeah.
So any picture which you like the most out of all of them?
I'm going to sound a little cliched, but no, I don't. Every picture has been an experience for me. It's been interacting with people has been such a brilliant thing for me. I met some of the nicest people and some really big time people in my career, and um,
Mhm.
I met heads of state, I met film stars, I met, but all the people that I met, those made a difference. Not my pictures. My pictures are very ordinary. It's for other people to decide whether they're good or not, and all. Not for me to decide. If I like my picture, I like it. Period. It's like I can't say that this is my favorite picture, or this is not my. I can't say that I don't like this picture, but I can't say this is my favorite picture. All the pictures are created from my mind. So how can I say that one doesn't belong to me? Like children.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're like your children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so, uh, what is your mantra of photography?
Yeah, I tell this to a lot of people. The mantra is very, very simple. I keep telling
Mhm.
people, if you're a cook, you got to be going out there and cooking, and if you're a student, you'll be out there studying, and if you're a photographer, you got to go out and shoot pictures. You just can't sit up and say that. In Telugu we have a proverb which says that "Ma tatal netinaginar namuti vasan chudu," which means my ancestors were fantastic people. They used to eat their food and made in ghee, so you can smell it from my mouth. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You can't rest on somebody
Yeah.
else's lawn. You've got to get out there and shoot every day. You've got to look at your pictures and figure out what's happening good or what's not happening good. Like
Yeah.
within our society, also, there's some really champion photographers out here, and I'm really blown by their quality of work. They're good enough to be world class. So yeah, that's a mantra, man. The mantra is to get up and work as long as you can do it. It's so much fun.
Okay. So, we also know that you're a food photographer. You like food photography, right? So, what is your experience dealing with food photography?
Look, I like food photography. Secondary. I like food.
Okay.
I'm a foodie. Okay,
Yeah. So
big
do
time
I.
eater. Big time eater. Till my wife puts a block on the amount of food that I can eat. But that's I'm a big. So so food photography, all photography has one particular purpose. The picture that you take has a purpose. It has to it has to deliver. I mean, if I
Mhm.
shoot a picture of a person who's aspiring to be an actor, or a person who's aspiring to be a model, or um, a person who's going to be the CEO of a company, the picture that I take is going to be very, very different for each one in that. So each picture has a job to do. When it goes out there, it has a job to do. And if my picture, when I'm shooting food over there, if people look at the picture and they get blown away. They just look at the picture for a few minutes, and maybe they feel like eating the food or drinking the food. That's a great plus for me. So it's an emotional connect. Or if I don't want an emotional connect, I go into in food photography. I go into the geometry of it. It's a kind of Swedish way of shooting images. I position it geometrically and make it a very interesting and strong picture. So people look at it and remember it. So there are two ways of looking at it. So either if I shoot a, let's say, gulab jamun, then somebody should go out and buy a gulab jamun, that's a successful picture. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
somebody, chef looks at it or some hotel looks at it and says, hey, this guy who shot this picture is really fab. We'd like to work with him. And that's money for the jam.
So mostly even when I look at good food pictures on Instagram or anywhere else, I have that craving to eat that food.
Those are
So
good pictures. Those are good pictures. I
yeah.
must tell you a story. Once I was walking back home from school because the bus ticket used to be 10 paise or something like that. I think I lost that money, so I was walking back home and I saw this bar and restaurant which had a painting of a. I must have been in my 6th standard or 7th standard. It was a long walk back home. It was about 5-6 kilometers home. Hot days. And I was carrying my school bag. School bag used to be pretty heavy those days. And I passed by this bar which had a painting of a glass of beer, or maybe a picture. But all I remember is wanting to drink that day. I never drank beer. So that's a very powerful image.
Another thing, we also know that you're a very talented, very good fashion photographer, well-renowned fashion photographer. So what are your experiences in that field?
Look, the way I see photography, it is not a technical subject. It is an emotion, which is what is missing in what a lot of people look at photography as. A photograph has a job to do, like I said, and photography is a mind game. So I am either getting into the mind of the person who's looking at the picture later, or I'm getting into the mind of the person that I'm shooting when I'm shooting. Whether they like it or not, whether they know it or not, I'm there inside always. So when I pick up my camera, I can tell you so many things about the person. Like, it just comes into me. So when I talk about fashion photography, the critical part is that it's not what we in India have started making it out to be. For a long time, I've been fighting this whole thing that we make it out to be. We have these fixed rules and we follow these things, saying the light has to be like this, and we have to get the shadow out here. This lighting has to be like. In the process of doing all that tamasha, you will lose out on the soul of the person, the image that you want to create. There's so many things that you can do. I can understand that people wanted to do it that way early on because they had limitations with their camera, with the lighting, etc. Now you have a camera which your phone produces a brilliant image sometimes. So you can shoot, but if you don't shoot the emotion, then you've not shot the picture. You wasted time. So even in fashion photography, for me, it's all a interpersonal relationship that I develop, and I get in there. So in a shoot, I first make my model comfortable, whoever it might be, whether young girl, young man, old lady, whatever it might be. I make them very, very comfortable. I have on many occasions when we're shooting film, I've shot with an empty camera. Because when you pick up an empty camera and start shooting, after about 20-30 pictures is when they start relaxing. And then I load the film into the camera and they start shooting. But then again, there's one more thing, when you have these lights on and you got these soft boxes and lights and reflectors and umbrellas and all those things going on in the studio, and then you, it's kind of, unless it's a very seasoned pro,
it's intimidating.
And there is going to feel a little in awe of what's happening around there. So my job is to make them comfortable. And then when it comes to a seasoned pro again, it's not that they're doing a great job. They're doing what they think is a great job. So I've got to get into the chinks of their armor because they know what to do in front of the camera. So they just come in and they have the standard poses. They know which angle they look good in. They come and pose and go away. And I get the same picture as what anybody else can get. So what's the difference? So how did I get into the soul of the person, get the picture? So that's what I try to capture. But then we are talking about fashion per se. There are a lot of other things. I'm looking in terms of jewelry perhaps, dress perhaps. All these things put together is a different ball game altogether. So I like to visualize what I could do with this guy. I look at the dresses first. I interact with the designer. I get an idea. Then we talk about what we can do. And I'm very very keen on shooting fashion now in different parts of the country, and taking them out into nature and doing some pictures like that. Yeah, young good looking women. Yeah, yeah.
So, do you interact with the models before the shoot to make them feel comfortable?
Every time they're my best buddies. But the problem here is sometimes I can shoot a model and I might not recognize them the next day. And when I'm shooting them on that particular, we're in love with each other. But next day, I might have forgot. That's the truth. I'm an incredibly absent-minded.
Okay. So, speaking of models, we know you've shot many stars, celebrities, and for many famous brands. So, can you recall any hilarious incident from those shoots?
Most
Any
hilarious
specific incident which you remember?
me shooting. No, there are plenty of time. Okay, I'll tell you, I don't know hilarious or not. When I'm shooting, I'm always cracking jokes and making people comfortable. I'm providing them the best of food. And if it's a model, I'm providing them, all kinds of fruits and fruit juices out there to make them more comfortable. But that apart, what really happens to be hilarious, everything is hilarious. And like once I was shooting the film star, Mr. Chiranjeevi,
Mhm.
and, along with his brother, Pawan Kalyan. So this was for the cover of a magazine, Stardust or Filmfare, one of those two. And so I was talking to Chiranjeevi and I said, listen, how much younger is Pawan to you? So he's saying, he's younger. Then I said, okay, how much younger? He said, something why? I said, listen, you must have carried him around as a baby. He said, yeah, I've carried him around. So I just wanted to carry him now like a baby, So, Chiranjeevi, they have their own pluses and minuses in terms of image, what they need to maintain. So he said, no, but I'll carry him like this. So he picked him up in his arms like that. And I mean, hats off to the man's strength. He stood like there for 2.5, 3 minutes holding his brother, who was about a good 80 kilos, I think. Holding him like this, standing out there, which is not a joke. So I got that picture. And there was this picture that I was recently, some time back. I also shoot 3D holograms, I used to. And we were shooting the President of India, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. It was a 3-day preparation, and we had put in 3 cameras over there. Although we need only 1 camera. But you can ask a film star probably, listen, that picture failed, so can you please come back? There's a possibility of asking, but President of India, you don't ask. So I didn't want to take a chance, and we put up 3 cameras, and I set up the cameras that way that we get all 3 cameras would give me the right angle for the hologram. And then I said, okay, let me talk to the president and let's get the second take out of the guy. So after the first take, I went to him very politely, said, he was brilliant. He's not the president for nothing. He was a brain, and he was a one-take artist. He did the whole thing in 1 take. It was a great take, actually speaking. But we are a little greedy, and we wanted 1 more take. So I went up to him and said, so it was fantastic, sir. All my sales talk came in over there, and I said, the only issue, sir, is that if you could stand a little, turn away from the camera slightly, might look better. He figured out instantly that I'm trying to get an unnecessary extra take from him. So see, he told me that in the beginning. Smile and shook hands and walked off. We got pictures with him, but that's what it is. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But nonetheless, we got our picture, and I'm pretty happy. There's plenty of such instances I can't say on camera right now because other people will say, "Guy too funny." So we'll avoid that.
Any favorite photos? Like, do you have any favorite pictures by other photographers or any favorite photographers you prefer?
Any favorite pictures? My first cover was for a magazine called Society. It's called Savvy. Savvy was a women's magazine, and I did a cover picture of Amala Akineni with a cat, a Persian cat, and it was animal rights activist or whatever it is. We were doing that picture. That was my first cover, so it was a pretty prestigious thing for me. The magazine stand price used to be $10 a magazine, and I could afford to buy 10 magazines. I sent it off to all my clients over there, different clients, and said, "This is my first cover. I thought to share it with you." That was nice that way. Yeah.
So if you were starting your photography journey today, right now, in this time and age, like I am and a lot of others are, what would you do? What would you do differently?
What would I do to select?
What would you do differently?
Differently.
Or what would you suggest we do?
When we started shooting, we used to shoot with film-based cameras which were not available in India. So buying a camera was a big deal. You never get and buying a camera off the shelf never happened till the Indian economy opened up and they allowed you to import these things and they came onto the shelf. So till that time, it was very difficult. And at that time, we used to shoot on film. So each roll of film, now if I were shooting on a chrome film, which is a transparency, a slide film, uh, including the processing and all, we used to charge the client about $500 for a roll of film. And so you shoot and you have to make sure that all your shots work. You can't afford to lose film. And you don't know what you've shot till you've taken the camera back to the darkroom, processed the film, and then looked at the result. Then you know, okay, I've shot it well or not well, not good enough. So there was a lot more focus on getting the picture right at that point of time. Okay. Today you have a digital camera and you shoot the image and get it out there instantly, and then immediately
Yeah.
and you've corrupted the client, and you work with your own way. You show the picture off and say, okay, this is the way I worked on it, and then you'll also say things like, nay, I will correct it on Photoshop later on. Photoshop, I can do that kind of stuff. Doesn't work at all. So what I'm saying is, your picture can get to being incredible from being very good. So when you shoot a picture, aim for something very good. Number one, shoot a picture. Shoot a picture every day if you want to be a photographer. Number two, develop your interpersonal skills. Trust me, when I started doing pictures, I was so incredibly shy that if I found a girl walking on the same side of the road, coming across same side of the road as me, coming on the opposite side, I would cut across to the other side of the road and walk because I didn't want to come anywhere close to her. I was so pathetic. Okay, over a period of time, I've um, become better. So these are things. Interpersonal skills are critical for you. And learning and evolving as a read as much as you can. Reading as much as you can helps you to evolve as a person. The more you evolve as a person, the better the more different you'll become as a photographer. And that evolvement, if I may say so, will show up in your pictures. And never stop short. Never say, in Telugu they call it chuteda. Well, let's wind it up. Last shot. The
Yeah.
winding business should not happen. You should always keep on trying. You always keep on trying for one slightly better picture. Can I get this also? Can I get that also? But before you start, you should know exactly what you want. If you train your mind to know what you want, then go get that thing first, and after try and do a little better than that.
Yeah. What you said about Photoshop and Lightroom was actually true. So even I do that sometimes. That okay, let's have a look at it later. I can edit it off. So I
Yeah,
will try not to do that from now onwards.
that's a lazy person's attitude basically. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
people. Like even in advertising, you have even you can't come up with a good campaign, you hire a celebrity. Okay, so suddenly you'll have
Yeah.
Sachin Tendulkar endorsing 20 different products, and that fails because nobody remembers the product, they only remember Sachin.
Such a
Because Sachin is a famous model man now.
yeah.
A famous model also, but they don't know what bank he model for or what finance company model for. They don't know anything about it. Yeah.
So how can somebody like us get into food photography or fashion photography or anything as a career?
First and foremost, you should like what you're doing.
Mhm.
If you're going to look for it and say, look, I want to make money, I want to make a career out of it, I think I'm going to do food photography because, I think I can get to eat a lot of good food. Or if I'm going to do fashion photography because I'll meet a lot of pretty girls, don't do it. It's not worth it. Because anything that you do out there carries a lot of weightage. Particularly if you're doing something for a client in advertising, that picture carries the weight of the company behind it. Your campaign can make or break a whole product line. Your picture can make or break a whole product line. So that's a lot of serious business out there. So do it only if you really feel like doing it. If you enjoy doing food, then go ahead and do food. But if you are doing food, then look at a lot of food pictures and figure out what those guys have done. How would you do it a little differently? Then interact with the chef beforehand itself. If you don't interact with the chef who's going to be styling it, you don't know what kind of. I've got a bunch load of crockery and cutlery which I keep buying. Whether I'm shooting or not, it's always there stacked up in my studio. And likewise, I also pick up clothes sometimes and keep them in my office for people to wear when I need. This kind of, I also once a makeup artist overslept and we lost the light on a shoot. And that day I went and I decided that I'll do my own makeup. So I started learning makeup. And next week, 1 week later, I was doing my own makeup. So for quite some time, I was doing makeup for my own models.
Yeah, I've heard that about you. A lot of people, like my peers, told me. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool in the sense that if you're doing makeup for a model, let's say, what happens is that you're bonding with them at a different level altogether. Then your picture making becomes easier because you've already
Yeah,
broken.
I understand.
Yeah. So that's one part. Not that I'm telling you to go and learn makeup, because there are very good makeup artists out there, and some of them today are really brilliant. So you can always use their services.
So what is the most challenging part? Yeah, what is the most challenging part of any shoot for you?
Most challenging part of any
Is
shoot?
there any? Yeah.
A little difficult. I don't know. Sometimes handling people who are outside of the shoot, that is probably the most challenging part. Handling people who are coming in from outside and trying to tell you what to do, how to do,
Yeah.
that's a very difficult part. Because when you're doing a photo, if somebody comes to you and says, "Okay, listen, this is the line that I want illustrated. This is the picture. You tell me what picture do you think will go with it." We have a couple of discussions. We know where it's going, and then we close the thing and shoot the thing and get on with it. We get some brilliant pictures. We get a picture where we've shifted the goalpost quite a bit and come back with a better picture. But if you come to me and say, "Listen, I want a picture which is exactly like this," I tell you, why don't you buy yourself a Xerox machine, or you buy that picture itself? Yeah. So if you come to me, you come to me to crack a concept for you, to produce an image which will make a difference for you. I'd love to do that. So the challenging part is handling people, man. Handling the extras. I've been known to throw parents out of my set many times. Your mothers and fathers will come in and interfere with the shoot. I tell the model, "Listen, are they interfering with the shoot? Are they interfering with your thought process or something like that?" And I tell them, "Go out and wait over there. There'll be a drink served for you over there. There's beer in the fridge, or there's whatever it is. Just go away. I don't want you to be here." It's important to me. My picture, man. It's not about, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. So I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to make you choose food photography or fashion photography.
Photography.
Very smart. Okay, sir. So you can't choose between them.
No, I can't. And actually speaking, if I had to choose, I would love to be, for me, the idol and the legend in photography is James Larkway. So I would love to do news photography, because I think that man is in a different league, or different league all by himself. I don't think anybody else is anywhere close to him. Editorial work.
So if you want to work with some model, would you choose Shilpa Shetty or Jacqueline Fernandez?
Shilpa Shetty, man, I got a crush on her. Last 20 years, maybe. I don't know.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing. DSLR or film camera?
I today go for a DSLR.
DSLR. Okay. Color or black and white?
It depends on the subject. It's not a very important question to me. It depends on the subject. If I think I'm going to shoot this in black and white, produce it in black and white, I might do it. I will shoot in color, or maybe convert it into process it into black and white tomorrow. But if I believe that an image needs black and white treatment, I give it black and white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like natural light or studio light?
Look, I'll tell you something. If I'm shooting in studio light and I want it to look like natural light, you can't tell a picture. I can shoot the same picture in natural light and studio light, and you can't tell me which is where. Because I can give you a challenge, okay? So the thing
Okay.
is, But the thing is, I like natural light, but sometimes I fill it up with some flashlight or some other light also. I've shot pictures 25 years ago using the headlights of two cars, stuff like that. So it doesn't matter to me. Light, light period. Drama, that matters.
Outdoor shoots or indoor shoots?
Again, I would say it doesn't matter to me, but I personally prefer to shoot outdoor because
Okay.
I cannot create a canvas like what God has created out there. So if I take my subject out there, I'm going to get a beautiful canvas already, and I position my model over there. I get a fabulous picture straight away.
Okay. Another question. I think I know the answer, but which camera system do you like? Canon, Sony, Nikon, Fuji, out of all of them, like many more. Which one do you prefer?
I like the camera which feels good in my hands. Okay,
Yeah.
so for a period of time, if I like a camera, I will keep using the camera till about 50 people come and tell me, "Have you tried the other camera? This particular camera is a great camera." And all. And then I pick up the camera and feels good in my. I bought a Hasselblad like that because I just picked up the camera, felt so good in my hand. I bought the camera. So it doesn't matter to me what is what because they're all doing the same thing. Sony of late has been doing more for me, so I use Sony now.
Yeah. It was amazing talking to you, sir. We'll
Thank you.
open up the comment section for questions.
Okay.
Yeah, the comment section is now on. If anybody wants to ask questions, Arvind sir is right there. The master for today. You can ask him anything. Sir, uh, how do you think we should approach editing? Like, are you open with editing pictures?
Yes, I am. Yes, I
Up
am.
to what extent?
See, the thing is, look, when we were doing photography on film and we were printing in a darkroom, we were still editing.
Hmm.
We were still burning. We were still dodging. We were still spotting the picture later on. All the things we were doing. To what extent, I don't know. It all depends on you. If you got a great picture, but I personally don't like to shoot one picture of a model in a studio, then take that model outdoor and mix both together. Somehow it goes a little against my grain. The whole beauty of photography goes away. Yeah.
Oh, I think we have a question.
Yeah. What makes an interesting picture? Simple line tip. Simple one line tip. Okay. Are these open shutter? When you're shooting a picture,
Mhm.
when you're shooting a picture, uh, if you know what your subject is, and you can make your subject stand out from the background, that makes an interesting picture. If that's a one line answer, that's the only one I can give you.
We have another question.
From Ashok Kanimala, how do you put your model at ease? Ashok Kanimala is a very senior photographer, and a very wonderful person and a good friend of mine. So he just, I think it's generally prodding me to figure out what's happening. But Ashok, I put them at ease because I'm such a good-looking guy. Yeah, I work at everything Ashok over there. Before I start the shoot, I know that who's coming in for the shoot, and I am prepared with anything and everything that can make them comfortable. Because if I know that somebody needs coffee, then I um, get the get the best of coffee out there. If they're going to have fruit juice, I'll have that too. Yeah. So that's what I mean. The more you talk with them, and the more you talk with them, you get into their head a little bit. Then you know where it is. Then you can turn the screws a little bit to get them into the right mood.
Yeah.
That's what it is, Ashok. That's what keeps them. No, not. I was just pulling your leg, Ashok. Don't worry. Okay, what is the next question?
We have a question from Harshvardhan Singh.
Yeah.
Uh, how much of anatomy study do you use in posing your models?
Look, here's something that I'd like to say. When you're talking about anatomy study, you're talking about. I'm presuming you're talking about female models. How much? Look, anatomy is. It's a very personal issue. It's how comfortable can you get your model to be. If you are, trust me, if you're going to try and look to see if you can go to get the model into bed or something like that, you will never succeed in your picture. Photography is one thing, anatomy, etc. is one more thing. So I keep these two things completely um, uh, apart, and uh, if it is needed, then I will shoot whatever part if I want to shoot the cleavage. But I also tell the model, look, if you do not have a good face, if you don't have good legs, do not wear shorts or short skirts. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you got a nice neck, if you got a nice collarbone, then I'll accordingly get the dress made so it shows off. Shows off the best part of your anatomy. Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
We have another story.
I'm sorry, Saurabh. I also don't like very tight undergarments and all, so I tell people not to, avoid wearing them because they look very unnatural. Yeah.
I get. We have another question from NM Photo Story. Do you prefer stage photo or a slice of line kind of photo?
Do I prefer what photo?
Staged photos or slice of life kind of photos?
See, I would love to shoot slice of life kind of pictures, but I'm not very good at that. I'm more of a director, so I am a stage picture person. So I've been saying the same thing over a period of time. When I say stage, it is going to be I am the master of the picture. I am the director of the session over, and whatever I'm doing over there will be a product of my child, a product of my mind, and my knowledge of lighting, photography, lenses, etc. So personally, I shoot as many as possible. It's all staged, but not staged in the same sense as that you think it is. But I need to control the shoot.
You like to have it in your control.
Yeah, absolutely.
I Bharati Krishna has a question. What would be a better choice, makeup artist or a retouch artist?
What would be a better choice, a good photographer or a good Photoshop artist?
Okay, sir. Got the answer.
Start working. If you're going to depend on a plastic surgeon and not do the surgery properly, and you have perfect covering outside, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Got the answer. Ashutosh Patwardhan has a question. Can you tell some of your favorite photographers that you followed or studied their work?
Yeah, I've strangely not too many fashion people and not too many food people, but I followed editorial people. So I love the work of Naqvi. Like I said, that man is a legend to me. I love landscapes of Ansel Adams. I love Sebastião Salgado's work, and uh, I used to love Galen Rowell's landscapes too. And well, there's so many people that I used to, the work I used to look at. I look at pictures and they just stop me in the track. That's a great picture. I went downwards. Everybody is the decisive moment, Robert Capa, and those kind of people. But Naqvi stands head and shoulders above everybody else.
We have another question, which by Ishwar R. Kumar. Which do you find more challenging, shooting a single model or a group of people or a group?
A group. It's very difficult to control a whole group. You can only go into limited control of so many people. With one model, you can get in the head of model and get out, and get your pictures out. With a group of people, they're all thinking different. They have different sets of gears running in their head, and getting into all their heads and getting it out needs a very loud voice, a very commanding personality, which you try to do, but then you've limited your ability to take some different emotions out.
Yeah. Another question from Siri Clicks. What are the checkpoints or plan you maintain before clicking pictures?
So it's all in my head. So when I go over there, you'll be surprised when I'm on the set on the shoot, I'm in charge. Yeah. If I'm not in charge is when I fail. So in all matters, because the buck stops with me. So in all matters, I have to do the picture and I have to do my best at doing the picture. So I can't stop. I'm the boss of them. And I'm pretty rude to people who come and interfere with me at times. I'm not a rude guy, but I'm rude at that time. Yeah.
We have another question by Samin's Photography.
Okay.
Question from Washington, D.C. What do you have to say for wedding photographers?
See, I think it's a very, very difficult line. I think wedding photography has reached one particular level still. On a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10, it's now come to probably 2.5. And people are very thrilled about it. But what the best part is that they're being paid incredible amounts of money for doing that kind of work. So all that I'm saying is that the scope is enormous over there. And you could probably raise it to a level of 5, 7, 10. you're going to be something else altogether. In terms of wedding photography is a beautiful challenge, and it needs uh, a lot of management, a lot of skills and management, which uh, I may have, may not have, but I don't enjoy it too much, so I don't do it. In the middle, I was really doing it, but I don't do it anymore.
Okay. We have another question from Mr. Sharma Vemuri. With which international celebrity would you wish to shoot?
Sharma Vemuri, I'd like to shoot Barack Obama.
Another question from Mr. Rao Prakash. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we have another question from Mr. Rao Prakash. Typically, in any assignment, how many images would you need to take?
Typically, in any assignment, is it?
Yeah.
It's a very difficult question to answer. Now, suppose I was shooting a story. I've done stories outside. There's a lot of editorial work I've done earlier. And when I do that kind of a story, the image making is based on the concept that they give you. If you get a story which says coconut cultivation, this is what you can come out with 5,000 pictures. Whereas they ask you to shoot coconut burfi, you can come out with 20 pictures. So it varies from subject to subject.
So we'll have a last question.
Coming up. So are we short of time?
We can go longer if you're free.
I wouldn't like people to go unanswered as far as possible. So let's answer as many questions.
Fine, sir. So we have another question by Muktai. What is your advice to see the light before I shoot the picture?
What is your
advice to see the light before I shoot the picture?
To see the light. I'm assuming that we're going to be going and doing outdoor work over here. We're talking about outdoor work. So as far as I'm concerned, if I do outdoor shoots and all that, unless it's a staged large production, I shoot my pictures before 8 in the morning or after 4 in the evening. So I don't shoot them in the middle of the day. However beautiful I think the subject might be or whatever it might be, I might come back and shoot it there. Light is critical. If you don't have the right kind of light falling out there, you're not going to get an outstanding picture. You'll get a good picture. So it is important that you have the ability and the freedom and the logistic to be able to come back and shoot that picture if you think there's a good picture out there. So that's how important light is.
All right. Another question by NM Photo Story. Are photo contests a boon or a bane?
Boon or bane, I think.
Yeah, boon or bane.
Look, photo contests are good ways of getting recognized, but I think only the good contests make a difference.
Yeah, I agree.
You got too many contests, there's too many things happening. I'm seeing too many cliched pictures coming out. I'm a little bored. I got pictures coming out of my ears of the typical thing that we've been following for the last 40, 50 years. The same pictures keep coming out, and I don't want those. I don't want to see those pictures again. Everybody's done them to death and beyond. I think that as a photographer, if you can do something new, something different, it's going to be fab. Why should you stick to the same tried and tested formula because somebody else did the same thing? I will also shoot a tribal woman with a goat in her hand and looking behind or whatever nonsense. Yeah. And if I don't find a tribal woman, now I've seen people taking models out there and dressing them up as a tribal woman and shooting them. I mean, if it's a stage set and saying, okay, this is a model who's posing like a tribal woman, I don't mind it. But you can't call it the physiognomy, the physical attributes of the two people are completely different. It shows up immediately.
Another question by Muktai. How do I communicate to the subject what I see in my mind, the image I see in my mind?
If you're not able to communicate, you haven't seen it clearly enough. Okay.
Great, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I've seen a question about Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, Shrikant Nipatla, Mr. Shrikant Nipatla asks, what's your take on Instagram with respect to photography?
Instagram is today's website.
Yeah.
The photographer. I think it's critical that you choose the right kind of picture. I didn't know about it myself. I'm a sloppy, lazy fellow when it comes to. I don't even know how to operate this thing. It's thanks to Saurabh that I'm here in front of you. Uh, but I heard from an editor friend of mine who came and spoke at the society some time back, Shalini Sharma. She told me how important your Instagram page is. Whatever pictures you
Yeah.
put there have to be sensible. They have to talk. If you're looking at generating business out of your work, then only your best pictures are be on your Instagram.
A question from the random soul. Where do you find inspiration for photography?
Where do I find it?
Inspiration for photography.
No. I don't know. I don't know. When I see something, what happens is that I might look like the sloppiest and laziest guy when it goes out there. But when I pick up the camera, I'm completely live wire. So I control the scene and shoot the thing. So it's probably my nature. Probably my nature and my ability to do those things is what makes it a little different for me. I'm happy, that I've come into this line and not any other line. Yeah.
Another question from NM Photo Story. Do you feel that wedding photography has become monotonous
Of course.
with repeated frames?
Of course, become monotonous. No, not only become monotonous, become atrociously overpriced for the kind of work that people are doing. I mean, you have these standard thing, pre-wedding shoots, and they have these two very cute-looking little. I am marrying him, and he's marrying him, her, and all that. That kind of stuff is also cliched. I mean, that's like your Archie's cards kind of photography. You
Yeah.
don't want that. There's so much more that you need to explore, and you get these typical thing. I saw sometime back. I went to Warangal to a lake, and I found one couple being shot, and the lady had a
Pre-wedding photos.
about 2.5 times the length of a regular sari. So from her pallo went into some trees way behind. Shooting that, putting a drone over there. It's not technical. It is how much of that affection can you shoot over there? How much of that love can you shoot over there? How much can you ignite that passion in the people to get a great picture out there? Yeah.
Agree. Another question from Mr. Yachendra Satyaprasad.
Vikramjit Vasu says, bro, my question is going a begging. But let's continue in line. So I don't want to let anybody's question go a begging.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you tried landscape photography? With your experience and vision, you can produce wonderful landscapes.
Here again is one more friend of mine called Satya Prasad who's asking this question, who I think is a phenomenal landscape photographer. And he's
Yes.
really trying to see how much I know about landscape photography. What I'm thinking. So, Satya Prasad, I will try landscape photography, but I will learn from you. Okay.
Question from Mr. Rajeshwar Kolipara. Do you suggest participation in salons will improve the skills?
Nageshwar Kolipara, that's a very tricky question to answer because I've never taken part in a salon. Maybe I might have done it once or twice earlier. But somehow I have this whole mind block that the kind of work that is happening, that is being shown in salons, is not what I want to do and what I would like to say is great photography. Yet people are doing it, and I'm not being critical about them. It is just about me that I don't want to do that. So salon photography takes you into one direction in India or abroad also, wherever it might be. It's all a very typical what they call as pictorial photography. They've stopped pushing the boundaries of photography in whatever they're doing. They just do it to that level, and the whole objective of doing the picture seems to me that they want to get recognition in salons and get some honor from somewhere so they can put it on the visiting card, and it doesn't work. Any number of qualifications you have in your visiting card are of no use. The only thing which is of use is your last picture. If it's a great picture, you'll get some work. Go ahead, sir.
Question from Mr. Vikramjit Vasu.
Yeah.
How about shooting plump people as a fashion photograph?
I would love to do it. I would love to do it. I mean, I really think I don't see anything wrong. The thing is, the idea of beauty has been changing and evolving in different ways and manners. So some time back, there was a model in London called Twiggy, who was an incredibly skinny, skin and bone kind of a girl, and she became the trendsetter for skinniness. So things can change. You use a plump girl, and now I know there's a model who's got leukoderma patches on her, and she doesn't give a damn. So what you're shooting, it again reinforces what I'm saying is that what you're shooting is actually the personality of a person. So you got a person, strong personality, you're gonna get something. It doesn't matter whether thin, tall, doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter. Uh, Whatever it might be, ethnicity, color, age, shade, and all that don't matter. The person has to come across, you know, strongly in the picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Another question from a question from Nawaz Anik. Hello, sir. How can we find emotions in street photography?
Emotions in
Street
street.
photography.
Every picture is about emotion, man. Every picture is about emotion. If you don't find emotion about street photography, then you can't be doing it. That means that you're not getting involved with that thing. Only thing I would do, I mean, I'm not a street photographer. There's a very great street photographer in our society, but I would do, if I were to do street photography, I would get into the street and know what I'm going to shoot. Then I'm going to be conversing with the people that I'm going to be shooting. Then quietly get my way around and then get my picture, because I've already seen my picture wrong. Maybe it's the wrong way to do it. That's the way I would do it. The emotions have to be there. Either the picture is emotional or it evokes emotion in the person who's looking at the picture. Yeah.
Oh, we have a good question here. Camera is in every person's hand. Does it make each one of us a photographer?
Of course.
From R. Nilimaji.
Of course. Everybody's a photographer. How good you are is a differentiating factor. Everybody can have a Xerox machine and take Xeroxes. Also, they're also photographers, they're also image. But it doesn't matter whether you have a whatever it is. I am saying all this while I've been saying that it's all in your mind's eye. If you can get that out from your mind's eye onto the pitch, onto your camera, then you're a photographer.
Yeah. Is the camera important to bring out the best in landscaping and wildlife photography? A question from Preetham Teja.
In the wildlife photography section, I think the lens is critical. It is very important. Okay. I am not at all a wildlife photographer. I will not spend money on buying myself one of some of the fancy lenses going out there. But beyond all these things, again, is to understand what happens with the wildlife over there. There are things that you need to know. You need to know about wildlife before you pick up a camera and start shooting that thing. You need to know you need to know why is that creature behaving in that way. You need to be able to predict what will the creature be doing next, and then only get into that field. If you're very passionate about wildlife, do it. But don't do it just like that, because so in that movie somebody says I want to be a wildlife photographer. Suddenly everybody wants to be a wildlife photographer. Three Idiots is a movie with that.
Yeah. Speaking about lenses, Samin's photography just asked, what is your favorite go-to lens?
See, it's been changing, Samir, over a period of time. Now I would like to get a smaller lens. I don't like to carry long lenses. I don't even want my 70-200 anymore. So I'd like to go for a light, fast lens. My favorite lens, if I were to shoot people, is either an 85 1.8 is good enough for me, or 135 2.8. If I'm shooting food, I'd like a 100 macro.
Macro. Okay. Question from Fern. Okay, I can't. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Fernwer Journals. Hi, this is Shaker. For someone who's just starting or an amateur, what is your advice?
Okay.
There's an option here. Start their own and make a mark, or follow and assist a senior photographer to learn the craft.
It all depends on the senior photographer. There are many senior photographers who don't show you anything. They themselves don't know much in many ways. A lot of things. If you come and ask, want to learn wildlife from me, you won't learn anything from me at all. So again, it depends on where you want to go and who you want to work with. Sometimes you might get lucky and you might get an incredible mentor. You might learn something. Other than that, I would say that your pictures have to be your teacher. So you have to keep on shooting regularly and on an everyday basis.
Okay, I think we're out of time. So let's conclude this because there's a timer going on above, 7 seconds remaining. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for doing this talk with us.
Sorry, I missed out some questions.